This segment sponsored by Foster Financial. It is the top of the year and the best time to start thinking about your finances and planning them throughout 2025. And the best person to talk to about this is Caleb Doane, the Vice President of Foster Financial. Hello, Caleb.
Hi.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
All right. So we made it to this year, and it's time to get our minds right and start thinking about some stuff in this first quarter, right?
Yeah.
And so I know that you like to talk about New Year's resolutions and putting on that list finances. So what is the first thing people should do when it comes to financial planning?
Yeah, I'd say there's a few things that people always like to push off, when it comes to their New Year's resolutions. One of them is legal documents. People always say, man, I need to update my will or my power of attorney. That's very easy to push off. Another one is the financial planning. So people know that they need a financial plan, they need to talk with somebody, but again, it's very easy to push it off and kind of save it for later.
Yeah.
So this year, as you're kind of going through your New Year's resolutions, if there's room on the list, maybe add putting a financial plan on there.
Right.
And there's lots that we do with a financial plan. There's lots of things to look into. I'd say some of the biggest pieces, if you're not retired, we like to make a plan for when you're going to retire. Is there a certain date that somebody is targeting, a certain age that they're targeting? We want to make sure that you can hit that goal. And to achieve that often involves contribution planning, looking at what your budget is going to be. Are there going to be big expenses in retirement? How do we plan for taxes? How do we plan for health insurance, especially for retiring before 65? There's a ton of things that go into a financial plan, and so we'll do all of that for you.
Yes, and so I know that we talk a lot about that retirement age and kind of like if spouses were to pass away and just kind of things that people deal with later in life. But would you say financial planning is important for all ages?
Yeah, certainly. Whether somebody is targeting a certain age for retirement or if you're in retirement and you just want to make sure that your money lasts all of retirement.
Yeah.
Either way, a financial plan is a really good thing to have. And I think today's Women's Wealth Wednesday, and so we like to kind of orient it towards women a little bit. One of the ways that financial planning can be really important in that scenario is sometimes we'll see that one spouse is a lot more involved in the investments than another spouse. And so maybe the husband really does a lot of the investments. He kind of self-manages their IRAs, their 401ks, whatever it might be. Well, that's wonderful, and that someone can do very good by doing that. But one thing to keep in mind is if that spouse, the husband in this scenario, if he were to pass away, would the wife feel comfortable managing all of that stuff on her own?
Right.
We see a lot of mistakes happen when that occurs. A husband passes away, the wife decides, okay, I don't really want to manage this stuff. I'm going to pull it out of the market. I'm going to cash out these accounts, and that can cause big issues for taxes. And so it can be really important. It can be helpful to create a financial plan, establish a relationship with a financial advisor. That way your spouse can be taken care of if something were to happen to you.
Okay, so let's talk about what it looks like on the consumer end when they do have a financial planner and you're putting all these numbers and having the portfolios that people keep. Is this something that's digital now, or is it still like, okay, here's your numbers, going over paperwork that's printed? Like, does the couple have access to it at home in that way?
Yeah, we do both for people, because we have people that prefer paper, people prefer digital.
Yeah.
We have an action plan that we create that lays out all of our recommendations, and that's, we can send it over a PDF, over email, or we print it out for people as well. And then when it comes to actually, viewing what you're invested in, you can either get the paper statements or you can get the digital statements. So we have clients all over the spectrum with that, so we want to cater to what people prefer the most.
Yes, and I'm sure people are wondering what that process really looks like with getting a financial planner. Like, is it something we talk about at the top of the year and then don't see you again until the end of the year? Or is it something that you're meeting monthly with your clients? Like, how involved are they on a continual basis to really manage their money?
Yeah, great question. When somebody decides to pursue a financial plan, at least at our firm, what we do is, we sit you down, we meet with you, we tell you a little bit about Foster Financial, we get to know a little bit about your financial plan and what planning strategies would apply to you. So is it contributions, is it Roth conversions, tax loss harvesting? What are the different things that really apply to your plan? Then we'll do phone calls with you. We'll do a conference call where we'll call on the different accounts, answer all the questions that we have. You know, there are different background questions we need to be able to understand what the recommendations are going to be.
Right.
And then we meet with you probably 3 or 4 times over the course of about a month or two to put together these recommendations and present them to you. And then once we present them, the clients say, hey, this sounds great. Please go and do this for me. 'Cause
Right.
it can certainly be complex with the different
Yes.
strategies. And then we go and do them for you. And then we typically meet with people on a recurring basis. Depends how complex the plan is, but
Okay.
usually it's about 2 in-person meetings a year that we have
Okay.
with clients. So we touch base, we see if things have changed, you know, any big expenses come up, any life changes that we need to kind of connect on, and we go over and adjust the plan on an ongoing basis.
Okay, and then what is actually included in a financial plan? What are just some of the areas that you all really compound in that?
Yeah, there's a lot that we look into. So if somebody is contributing to a 401k at work, we'll give you recommendations for what to invest in your 401k.
Okay.
We'll look at all the different investment options and see what are the best for you. We'll help you rebalance that 401k. When it comes to contributing, a lot of times people don't necessarily know how much they should contribute in order to hit that retirement goal. And so we'll say, hey, you're contributing 5% right now. We actually need to raise it to 7% or whatever it might be to be able to hit your goal. So there's investments, there's contributions, there's also tax strategizing. Maybe somebody's contributing pre-tax and they need to switch over to Roth. And so we'll do that. Maybe there's Roth conversions that need to happen. Maybe there's, you know, donating strategies that need to occur. We'll look at that. We'll look at their beneficiaries too. You'd be surprised how many people's beneficiaries are incorrectly put on at least one of their accounts.
Yeah.
And so we go through and make sure those are updated. There's a lot more too, but that's kind of a
Yeah.
taste of what the financial plan looks like.
Yeah, and is there a recommended age for someone to get started with a financial plan, or is it really just the stage in their lives where they actually have the bigger accounts like the 401ks and portfolios to really manage?
Yeah, I would say the earlier the better for a financial plan, but also it's never too late, right? You know, so the younger you are, little tweaks that we make to the plan have just a drastic difference 20 or 30 years down the road. So if you're young, the biggest asset that you have is your time. And so we can get money in the market and it's in there for 20, 30, 40 years. If you're older, however, there's a lot of these tax strategies that we have that can save you a lot of money in your 70s and in your 80s. So the earlier the better, but it's also never too late to start.
All right, well, they should get started with you.
Yeah.
All right, so let me tell you how you can get started with Caleb. So Foster Financial offers complimentary consultations, and they also will proceed to have a meeting in office, and you get their yummy warm cookies if you visit them, and so much more throughout that experience. So we will put their website and their phone number below to reach out to them, and I'll see you after the break. This segment sponsored by Foster Financial.